Ladies, gentlemen, friends, and family, welcome back to Chicago Reacts, one of your favorite channels on the good old YouTubes. I'm Zach. I'm an actor here in the city of Chicago, soon expanding nationwide, worldwide, hopefully someday. And I'm joined on my left and your right by the magnificent, the marvelous, the incredibly ruggedly handsome, the Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I'm Michael, everybody. I'm also an actor here in the city of Chicago. Thanks for joining us on the good old YouTubes. Gotta love good old YouTubes. We are back with Chicago Reacts, and we are reacting to Control Review, Going Ghost, Guerrilla Warfare by Max0r. It's been a little bit since we've checked out Max0r, so this is fun. I'm excited to be back with Max0r.
This one in particular was suggested by social anxiety, which I certainly have to a certain degree.
I was going to say, I try not to.
Contrary to popular belief, Michael and I do have our fair share of social anxiety, so much love to you.
Yeah, I try not to follow all the suggestions for my social anxiety, but this one is a great one, so thank you so much. Excited for it. Hey, if anyone else has other suggestions, make sure you leave that in the comments section down below. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also, let's see what we got.
We can promote merch again.
Yeah, we're going to promote
Guys, we got these great mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all the cool stuff of all of our brands. I'm using a Chicago Plays mug, which there may or may not be an alcoholic beverage in here. We have
the ever brilliant, the always talented,
the one, the only mug.
Yes.
And this has been a staple for Michael and I since the beginning, and we knew we needed it merch-wise when the time came. And the time has come. So you can enjoy your own version of Chicago Reacts merch. Check out the description, and there is a link down below where you can find access to all of the wonderful merch that we have. And we would be ever grateful if you indulged and you shared in some of our merch with us. So yeah, Max0r.
Max0r.
What do we know about Max0r? We know powerful editing, incredible storytelling, incredible wit, and incredible humor, and incredible gameplay.
Yes.
So here we go.
I know less about Guerrilla Warfare.
Less, but so Control Review. I think the game is called Control.
Oh, okay. I think Control Review. Okay. All right. I don't think I know about that. Maybe, unless I'm anyway, let's dive in.
All right. Control is a game where the impossible is made possible, where the going gets ghost, and where 90% of all battles are fought using stone-based blunt force trauma.
Okay, so we're 10 seconds into the video, and I guarantee you that first 10 seconds of that video took an hour.
Oh yeah, with all the different clips.
With all the different clips.
I have played a bit of this game, but I didn't get through very much. I played like the tutorial mission.
Yeah, I'm familiar with like some of the stuff. I find
pretty good things, but so I'm really excited to see what Max0r has to say.
Me too. But just wanted to say another Max0r, man. I don't know if you
edit with that high energy editing.
Yeah, I don't know if you edit your stuff yourself or if you're lucky and fortunate enough to have an editor. They do brilliant work, and it's so creative, it's so awesome. So just always gotta say.
You play as Traffic Control, who is given supernatural abilities by her Tulpa and the unnaturally Finnish Janitor, as she undergoes the most complex and deadly job application known to man. As the new director for the Not SCP Foundation, you're given the job of researching and containing supernatural kitchen appliances.
SCP, that's some cool lore.
Appears to be Praetorian Guard succession law. You assume this mantle to fight the Hiss, a red-tinted malevolent force of death, to stop them from breaching the Has-Been Hotel dimension. And much like any problem, this can be solved with a gun. But stronger than any gun is our protagonist's extreme knack for hurling rocks at literal breakneck velocity, and in the process of destroying her enemy, conducts more stoning than Saudi Arabia. Here at the federal government, our exorcisms are performed with extreme prejudice. Control is one of the best action shooters that I have played in years, and to explain why, we're going hog wild. So don't take this as legitimate consumer advice, because I am as qualified and intelligent as an EA executive. Instead, I ask you to join me in untangling the thrilling combat, the stellar visuals, the unusual plot, and a save system more malformed than Charles II.
Back at it again at Christmas Day.
Help me! Help me! Baba Booey.
Dang.
I like it because hello, I'm Luigi.
Man.
Now, this game is surprisingly simple. Almost everything that you do is just in a room, shooting people, and that's the best shit ever. There's no pre-edited takedowns, no cinematic set pieces, no following an NPC for 6 fucking hours. Please, Bourbon, speed up. Every shootout is up to you, and that's what makes the spectacle significantly more impressive than the Left 4 Dead 2 pre-rendered gas station explosion. Sorry guys, I was filming for a video.
Can we, like, kick this fucking dude?
In a way, this game is basically only possible because of modern CPUs. If I showed this to my father 10 years ago, he would have a fucking aneurysm. In those dark times, we were confined by Skyrim's weakness to only render 10,000 cheese wheels at once. You'll probably need a good computer to render it, since every bullet spawns at least 50 clipboards upon impact. DLSS
Dang.
is also a miracle technology for when I don't want my computer to etch ones and zeros on a stone tablet. I highly recommend it. This aesthetic is very appealing because this game doesn't have the slave labor budget of Dubai. Therefore, it sticks to relatively clean interiors that you subsequently trash like your local McDonald's bathroom. Just don't
That's
enter
sick.
the safe note room. Our adventure takes place in one building called the Oldest House, where the Federal Bureau of CIA Mormons conducts ethical experiments on the supernatural, like sissy hypnosis. Ooh, you want to hit the bell? It's a gateway between our world and the extra-dimensional, which is why white people immediately colonized it. There is variety, but what is there is tailor-made to make you feel like a pit bull in an orphanage. Enemies explode into colored smoke, rooms glow with beautiful lighting across a mirror sheen, and you can throw everything. You can even help the disabled into the fucking ground. It's art direction that makes this game pop, and it's all about that spectacle. So make sure you fill your PC with an adequate number of beans. You are the agent of destruction of the game and your computer, and the visuals only emphasize this. But it would be nothing without that sick gameplay. Battlefield 4 is a great looking game, but I struggle to theorize how the AI climbed out of the abortion bin. Fortunately, we're playing a game that has more than 2 buttons, so it's time to explain. Lesson 1 in Video James.
Damn.
There's
What
the
the
aforementioned
fuck?
Mach 5 stone toss, but that's not all. You can literally fly in this game. Do you know how many options that unlocks? The paint buckets think they're safe, and suddenly this bastard's leaping direct. Among these are some fancy, less cool abilities like a dodge, a shield.
Okay, so I know you're a fan of the Mass Effect series, much like I am.
Yes.
There's actually a lot in this gameplay that I see kind of mirrored with Mass Effect Andromeda's gameplay. Like the gun fighting specifically.
Okay. Which I haven't played Andromeda, which would be good. Well, I know it got mixed reviews, but
yeah, and just like I know that this is the focus of this video, but Andromeda, to any Mass Effect fan, I just have to say that the gameplay is worth it, and the story is the story, whatever, without Shepard, which is never going to be the same.
Yeah.
But the gameplay in and of itself makes, to me, the whole experience worth it. And if you just take the story at face value, it's still an incredibly worthwhile and very fulfilling experience, honestly.
yeah.
But you said like you had experience playing this. Did you enjoy the gameplay of it?
Well, I don't think I got through enough. Like, I didn't master it. So
Sure.
I didn't really even get to much of the flying or the shield ability. So
Sure.
I didn't even get to all the abilities. So honestly, looking at this, I'm like, oh, this might be worth revisiting because
Yeah,
I'd seen, it was just like, it just didn't strike me right when I started playing it. But watching it now, I'm like, maybe I'll give this another go because it looks really good.
Yeah. And let me know, guys, like for those of you that have played Andromeda, do you guys see what I'm talking about? Like a lot of the, like in Andromeda, you're kind of given like a jetpack that makes jumping around the map and utilizing space in the way that you want to, and utilizing different powers and the biotic abilities.
Yeah.
It's a really fun gameplay experience. And I'm seeing, like I said, so much of that in this.
Yeah,
But
like
in
there's
a very
so
different
much
environment. Right.
different ways to move, different ways to affect the environment.
Mhm.
Like it looks awesome. I also love just how everything is exploding.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome.
No, it's wicked. And
There's something so gratifying about
Yeah.
that.
like you said, definitely computers at the time needed a massive graphics card to be able to handle this.
but it
So,
looks great.
yeah.
Alright, let's dive
and the ability to overwrite their consciousness. It's for the greater good. But what about the weapons? Doesn't Call of Duty have weapons? Well, the emphasis isn't really on the gun, so you have the generic guns, maybe a grenade launcher, or maybe you change class to soldier and die anyways because you suck. And then you have the Pierce, which vomits railroad spikes into the enemy at Mach 6. No point using anything else anymore, you just have to join the railroad. Shut the fuck up, Desdemona. You can use your weapons on basic enemies, but there is intense variety with enemies that have shields, enemies with more health, and enemies with both. But the most threatening enemies are capable of harnessing the strongest powers in the entire game. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Bullets are a scratch, and missiles are laughable compared to the sheer, incomprehensibly damaging effects of the chimpanzee attack. They are genuinely serious threats because they can dodge your strongest attack, which is also The Rock. Let's get back to that later. But by far, the most engaging enemy in the game is the These all culminate to form a chaotic, fun mess of utter destruction with modifications, upgrades, and skill progression. We will get back to that shit, so you can do a variety of builds and experiment with your... Okay, I lied to you. We're actually doing this now. This video is being hijacked by the Bad Fairy. The spectacle of the game and the first-time experience is amazing, downright fantastic. But
that was a really cool shot when she was like at the
player can do requires a return to monkey. Throwing rocks is objectively always in every scenario the best strategy possible. Why do you think all my footage is just throwing rocks? There are upgrades, but rocks are objectively the best upgrade, so why do anything else? All other tactics are effectively LARPing that you want to win, because of all things, Antifa gaming is how you win. Every fight, every time. This will grate you by the end, and it makes repeated playthroughs repetitious. But Max0r, why can't you just use a different strategy if throwing rocks gets so boring? Well, this wouldn't be a problem in a normal game designed by a non-Finnic ethnicity. However, this is an enemy at the beginning of the game. And this is an enemy near the end. I fully upgraded this gun. Effectively, enemies scale faster than you can upgrade your weaponry, which makes you weaker and more pathetic by the end of the game. There is, however, one strategy that actually gets more effective as you level it. Can you guess what it is? To get the exact same dopamine as you did at the beginning, you have to use rocks or you're literally gimping yourself. It's like going to the zoo, but you're told the only way to see other animals is to jump into the chimp exhibit. It would be nice if I could choose more ways to be more effective, but the game has chosen for me. I should be allowed to feel more powerful as the game goes on, especially if you fill the game with literal RPG mechanics. Do not get me started on the mods. 90% of them are shit like save ammo when levitating, shoot 5% more, receive more money on Christmas if it's a Tuesday. On my first playthrough, I ended up finding a single damage mod. The grind has literally no relationship to success whatsoever, so consider ignoring it. But what can't be ignored is our motivation. Why are we here? Where is the nearest Walmart? How to evade the police after create bomb? These answers and more can be found in the lore, a strange tale of a janitor and a whore. I love this game for the experience that it gave me once, and the story is a huge part of that, so it's time to explore. The oldest house is a building out of time, shifting as you progress, a barrier between us and the cosmos. We appear to be under the influence of terrifying cosmic beings that control its operations called the Board.
I just went shopping at Home Depot.
These fuckers are inhuman, non-Euclidean voices originating from a gigantic inverted pyramid in the astral plane. You need a goddamn thesaurus to describe them, and everyone just kind of listens to their commands for seemingly no reason. Sorry, Joe Biden, in real life, the polyhedron gets the girl. In the midst of this bullshit, there's also a cosmic war going on between beings of sound. The first is the Red Hiss, a force of death which invades and occupies the oldest house to spread its dominion. And the other is Polaris. Polaris is trapped inside a fucking tetrahedron. This necessitates the conscription of our protagonist to fight the cosmic war for them. At least we have a game. And to make matters worse, there is yet another mysterious, extra-dimensional presence lingering in the halls, the most powerful of them all.
The janitor?
A Finnish guy. It's a big plot point that he lends you his Walkman. That's how fucking strong they are.
Take my cassette player. You can borrow it. The song is a present from my friends to you. It will get you through the maze so you can do your job.
I met that guy briefly.
This unfolds due to fetch quests exclusively.
I mean, trying to describe this plot doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, it was immediately trippy.
Yeah, like Max0r's videos are trippy enough, but then hearing Max0r try and describe the plot of this game in a relatively concise and straightforward way. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I mean, that's probably better. Like, it's blurry enough where, like, you'll still want to play it.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So it's not like you're getting, like, getting into the spoilers. Obviously, there's more time in the video, so that may not be the case. But it's making me more interested to play it. Yeah, knowing a little bit more about it because
games have to achieve
great things about it.
I have too. I do. Like my immediate thought was like, well, how are subsequent playthroughs of the game? Which he did touch on, like
once you play through it,
you've got the story, and then it might be fun to play a slightly different play style. But beyond that, there's not much there. But still, I don't know. It's cool. I just have massive respect for people that create their own worlds and. So
rocks, go get the rock. Oh, I gotta find Dylan. Oh boy, we're in the prison now. Oh, it looks like Dylan walked by himself past me, back to exactly where I began the quest, causing all my time to be wasted. Oh, what's that, Dylan? I gotta find the spooky tetrahedron. Oh, crinklety crack, there goes my back. In reality, the plot is uniquely simple, and you could probably remove your brother from the story. There's this one moment where Dylan expresses doubt for your cause. The Foundation kidnapped him. It hurt Jessie, and then made her director within 3 seconds of walking in. The story is a struggle between a good side and an evil side. Every salient point that Dylan makes is kind of shrugged off as him being just crazy. And Jesse's just like, oh man, the guys who kidnapped my brother, I'll work for him without questioning that. Almost had nuance or moral complexity there. Good thing that I levitated over it. Now all I have to do is put my brother in a fucking coma.
Stop screaming, Dylan.
This is all slightly offset by the presence of one Dr. Darling, whose personality is so strong I can only assume the game was built around him. When I became tired of the Dylan saga, Darling was there dancing on a projector in my mind palace. I found myself drawn to him, loving every second of his performance, and I think I know why. Jessie has the personality of a fish. She could suck the rainbow out of a pride parade. The expansions can try to help with this, but no, they don't. When I review DLC, they're often bombastic, new, and interesting, but Control's expansions suffer from the malaise of the late game. They typically drag on, and I'm just bored. They even got Alan Wake in the expansion where they fake the moon landing. That's supposed to be a fun sentence, but the gameplay is identical. The Foundation DLC tries to shake things up by adding a new enemy, but instead of blending it into the combat, the game sends 50 screaming baboons to fight you all at once. POV, you are a minor on Discord. With all this in mind, I can't really recommend that you play Control. Wrong. That's right. This game is sometimes entire games can be boiled down to just one moment. One pure example that stays with you forever and makes the experience truly worth playing. For me, there is nothing more emblematic of this than the ashtray maze. So if you're interested in playing Control, here is the magic word. This is when the game dives headlong into the absurdity, the action, and everything else that makes this game actually good. And if you don't enjoy Control, at least you can take away this. Every mechanic, every encounter was all building up to the moment that you grip your finished Walkman and let it play. And yes, this music is in the game.
Oh man. This game is insane.
The game might not be worth playing, but Ashtray Maze is a recommend. I would like to thank the kind and truthful members of the federal government for adequately funding my clandestine operations in Peru. If you
Yes. You know what? This game has almost like a Matrix feel to it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good way of what is real, what is not real. Yeah. When I first started playing it, it actually reminded me of Stanley Parable.
No way. It just in terms of the style and
I would say
not
the first 15 minutes because there's just this element of wait a minute, what's going on? What am I doing? Where am I going? How do I get there? This doesn't make any sense. The geometry of the space doesn't really make sense, or at least it didn't to me when I was playing it. I was like, what is happening? But that being said, I played again 15 or 20 minutes of the game. So it seems very different, but it had that this is crazy and I don't know what to expect element. That's really what I'm trying to say.
But isn't that really cool when you think about it? For a game called Control.
Control, but there's no control. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Wicked. It to me it looks like what Do you guys remember like when this is back when like the Matrix 2 and 3 were coming out, but do you remember when they made that video game Enter the Matrix and they made the Path of Neo, and this to me is what like they wanted the Matrix games to feel like.
Yeah.
Like this is how far games have come now. And then I haven't played it, but like the Unreal 5 engine demo is tied to the new Matrix in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's how I learned about it actually, was through someone did a video where there's something within the Unreal 5 engine or something like that where part of the demo, they somehow connected it to the Matrix.
Like the new movie.
Yeah, the new movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any real legitimacy to that, but yeah, it's just kind of a cool, to me, that game, like if that game would have come out like 10 years ago, oh, brilliant, Game of the Year nominee for sure. But it's just so cool to see how far gaming is coming.
But it still was great when it came out. When did it come out? In 2020 or 2019?
Something like that. And I remember the game actually like being pretty well reviewed.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Max0r, for an awesome dive into that. Like, truly, I will probably revisit it now that I've seen that. And thank you, Social Anxiety, for the lovely suggestion.
Thank you, Social Anxiety.
Social Anxiety.
Thank you. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, thanks, Social Anxiety. Hey, if you want to leave a suggestion, leave a comment in that comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Get your swag.
All that good stuff. Get your swag, yes.
And with that, I think we will see you next time.
Chicago Reacts, baby.